To purchase the class kit, the link will be in the description. Welcome, I'm Julie, and the first thing I'm going to do is go through the supply list for the Pansy class. So this is the necklace and the earrings. And in your kit, you will have pastels that are in a protected sheet and on sandpaper, ready for you to use. You will have your pre-cuts, you just punch them out. You will have your bag of findings. It will have your fire line, head pins, your snake chain, and all your beads and bead caps that you need for this kit, and your bezels. And then you'll have E6000 glue, and obviously a link to the class, or you wouldn't be viewing this. These are the items that you need to supply. You're going to need to supply the Shrinkets bezel mold, and that you can purchase on my site or on my Etsy site, which you'll see the link to my site is juliehaymaker.com on your kit, and that also links to my Etsy site. You can purchase it either place. And then you need jewelry pliers to open and close jump rings and do wire wraps. So that's a basic jewelry set is round nose, chain nose, and wire cutters. And then this is optional, a colored pencil in a nice dark purple. This is a Holbein. A Prismacolor pencil will work just fine. This one is called Pansy, so I picked that out in a dark purple. And then a heat gun to heat your shrink plastic, and I'm using a 320 watt. I sell this on my site too as well, or you can use it a 300 watt. So let's get started. We're ready to start coloring our shrink plastic. Now, in your little kit, you're going to have these little green leaf beads that are going to be used on the dangles of this, on the earrings and the necklace. And this is the main bead, leaf bead, that you can use on your necklace. And then you have these two leaf beads that you could use with your necklace if you want a real layered leaf look, or if you didn't want to use this one and only wanted to use two of these. You'll notice that these are two different sizes. Now, what if you wanted this to be on the, wanted to use both of those on your leaf bead? Well, this is all you have to do. On the frosted side that you can draw on, you can just come in here and trace this smaller one over this. You don't have to be really precise. You can just cut this so that it matches that bead. And now you have two that will be the right length to go on your earrings. And I'll probably go ahead and showcase that. But as I said, you have many options. You can just eliminate these or layer them up on this with a pendant. So let's get started with our pansies. And these shapes, these little 3-petal shapes, are going to be the ones that we're going to be doing yellows and purples on. And these are the ones that we're going to be just doing purples. So this is your frosted side. And what I'm gonna do is start with a little ivory or white. And blend that in a little bit. And just put this out at the perimeter. If you wanted to put it all over, that's okay too. I'm basically having you kind of, looks like we've got a little mar on that, maybe. Got a little bit of moisture on it. So notice how I'm really getting in here, and I may come out a little few areas, just a few areas, and add some of the pink or, you know, some of the rich red, which rich wine color, because that can happen in pansies. And in nature, things are not, you know, it looks like they are one color, but as the light hits them, they can showcase many shades. Okay, so I'm going to put these over here so you can see how I chose to do those. And with that little mar up there, I'm going to come in with some purple. Bring this down here so you can see what I've done with these. All right. Move them out of the way. Now I'm coming in over here, and I am going to wash. It's nice if you have wet ones. I'm right by my sink in my studio space. Wet ones on the side of the table, you're able to just wipe your hands immediately, or if you have your sink nearby. So I wanted to get the purple off my hands. Now, I'm coming in here with the yellow on all three. Staying way away from the purple. Because if I mix purple and yellow directly together, I will get brown. And we don't want that. So you're going to be very careful. I'm wiping my hands off, getting the purple off, getting them dry. You're going to be very careful to just leave this purple here and not blend it in with the yellow. Just for starters, okay? See, I might even leave a little halo there so that it doesn't get blended in, or it will go brown on me. Now I'm wiping my fingers clean. And I'm coming in with some pink and white and putting that where I can blend those two together. If you don't want to use the pink and white, just use white. That'll help the transition. Or use the ivory. Oops. So I'm just trying to get that transition to happen. Accidentally got a little water on that. I'll wait for that to dry. You don't want to get water on your pastels or you'll get funny little marks like this. But if that dries out, I can take care of that. So, and me just going back and forth with the water over here, you see what I've done. So that's not a good choice to do. That was a poor choice on my part. Now I'm coming in here with Stronger. Just keeping my fingers really clean. And letting that just be. Okay. And just double checking on this one, clean hand. And I'm pleased with that one. At this point they look, I'm gonna take a rag and kind of wipe that off where I got water on it. See how if I let it dry, I was able to save it and come out here, put the purple back on. Careful this time. Make my hands really dry. You can see these really almost look like pressed flowers. So making sure my hand's really dry, and then I'm gonna do that lovely little transition there. Help with that transition just a little bit by putting a little bit of the off-white there. And blending that with some pink, making the transitions nice on that. So I get some variegated colors in there and nice tips of purple and touch, you know, just you know, play with it a little bit. So there I am with my Pansy colors. Going to move these off and get a clean piece of paper to do the leaves. And I want you to be able to see what I've got here. There we go. Okay. Putting those off to the side. And then I've got my leaves. And I'm coming in here. Pansy leaves, I'm on the frosted side. Pansy leaves can be just a wonderful bright green. So, but nothing to me is just one color of green. So notice I put my yellow down in there. I mean, I wouldn't just use that. That will be very, very boring if I used just that. Now, this may sound weird, but I'm going to take a little bit of this red and tip it and a little bit of the purple, bring it around here. And that, look at the depth that that gives that. Now, if I take a little pink and put it up here, a little pink in there. Look how those leaves become really just a smidgen in there. We get some really pretty shades. And our leaves will not look boring. Okay, so here's where we come in with our pencil. If you're choosing to use the optional colored pencil, I'm just using a light touch. It's very light. and this would be a heavier touch. I'm not doing that. This is light, like a mosquito landing or butterfly landing on your skin. So I'm just doing this and doing this and doing this with a light touch. And I'm doing this and I'm doing this and this, and it's just a light touch. Okay, and then with these, I'm bringing these guys over, and I'm doing the same thing, just 3 light touches. And I'm drawing like a plane taking off. Heavy, and then, whoa, like my pencil's a plane taking off. If that makes sense. It's taking off the surface. And keeping this 2, 3 to each one. 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay. And there I am. And I'm ready to shrink these, and that's what we have. And so let's get going with shrinking. So we're going to use our bezel mold, and that means that we're creating like a little bowl. And these beads will not be they'll not be drops. Let's say that's a beaded drop, and that's a bead, right? And let's say it's wire wrapped in a bead. Well, it's a bead cap, is where you'd see the surface of a bead cap, right? And we use our little dome mold for this. Well, the bezel mold kind of makes, makes a bead that you're going to be almost like a inverted bezel, where an inverted cabochon, a little bowl that you're going to be looking at. So we're going to be looking at, these guys, face down. And the bowl, the deeper part of it is going to be right here, and it's going to be formed in this little bowl. It's going to take the shape of this interior bowl. So what we have to do is decide when we're looking at that is, do we want shiny or matte? And whatever we place, whatever we see is what we'll get. So if I want to look at a shiny bead, I need to place shiny up. And that's what I've decided to do with this. So I'm going to heat, and I'm going to hold the heat gun about right here. And I'm going to go around the perimeter of the bead and just keep heating till it wiggles and shrivels and stops moving on its own accord. Starting to move. Keep the heat to the outside, and if I got a funky area, I go and I get it. An area I meant that doesn't shrink as fast, I hit that area. And then I put the top on, and I gently hold it down, and I count to 5. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. And I have my first part of my pansy, which is really beautiful. Looks almost like the real thing. And then I'm going to also place this shiny down. Going out to the perimeter. There, it stopped moving on its own accord, and I don't want to overheat it. I'm coming down and I'm pressing 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. We've got our beautiful little top here, and it'll line up like so. And now we're going to do the little ones. These will be for the earrings. That went fast. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. It's adorable. One 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Adorable. They look just like little pansies. I'll do this off camera, these other two. Now I'm going to do the leaf, and I'm going to use the bezel mold for the leaf, but I'm not going to press really hard because I don't want that cup shape, real heavy cup shape, but I just want to create a little bit of a flute. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. You'll see I'll probably do a little manipulation here. So I'm going to shrink it first. I've got the shiny up. Okay. And if my leaves come over and touch each other, kind of, and I want to manipulate them out, I kind of move it, and it kind of fell into place. So this was kind of what I had wanted out of it, and I can bring it to the edge and kind of press and turn and create that, create kind of a little fluted look like I wanted. All right. Now these, the little leaf beads, I'm probably going to manipulate a little bit in the same way. And if it's too hot, you can get a little lollipop stick, any kind of little stick to form it, or use your pencil. There, just so it has a little bit of a form and just isn't totally flat. This one here, we may do a tiny bit of twisting because leaves aren't flat. And I've got that on the frosted side. So I'm coming in here and kind of holding it, kind of manipulating it a little bit like this by pushing just gently and getting a little bit of an unusual shape. And even though I cut that one, it looks like this one's still just they're about the same size, a little bit smaller, but you won't note. You're not going to notice. So I'm going to do this one off camera, and then I'm going to meet you for assembling. So I'm ready to assemble. I've taken my fire line and some scissors and I've cut a length of thread. And if you want to use a beading needle, go ahead and thread it up. I'm not going to. I'm just gonna hand string. And I'm going to place, you can put a purple bead on, you can put a green bead, you can put one of these gold beads on here. I'm just gonna do a purple one. Use good old saliva, you can do wax or whatever. Now I've got this in the saddle, and I'm going to string both tails through the yellow faceted bead. So I've got that kind of a look. And then I'm going to run them, looks like that has a little blemish on it, through the this little spacer bead. So I've got this situation right here. And then I'm going to put them through the top part of the pansy. Okay. And then through the back part of the pansy. You can, it should flip up more like so, layered up behind here. And then I'm going to take the little gold bead and I'm going to have it cup away from the base. And I'm going to add another seed bead. It can be any color. I'm just going to go for this gold. Putting it on, and I bypass it. I don't go back through it, but I go down through my little tiny spacer bead here. Okay? And then I've got these two tails, and I'm going to tie them very tight. Okay? And that's going to bring up, so I tie that very tight. Then I'm going to do, and if you don't feel like you can get it tight, don't break it, but you can do your pliers and pull it tight, okay? I shouldn't be jerking it that way. I could stretch it out or break it. So I'm going to do a surgeon's knot. This means that I'm going to cross these over. These crossed over, and take this tail, go around, and then the tail's going to go around again. And I'm going to pull that in really tight. Okay? And I'm going to do that once again. Surgeon's knot, pull in tight, and then I can cut. And we're not going to see this back here, so don't worry too much about hiding your threads. But we've got this darling little pansy that's going to go right in here. Okay? We're going to do the same for these two. It's the same sequence. I have all three of my flowers sewn together. And now I haven't attached them to their bezels yet, bezels. And so next I'm going to make the dangles. I'm going to get the dangles all on, jump rings all on and everything assembled before I glue these into place. And yes, we are gluing these with E6000. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a dangle, and I'm putting and this is for the pendant, and I'm just going to do a selection. You have a nice selection here to work with. And I'm only going to make one of these because I've given you enough to do three, but I'm not going, these are our earrings, and these are made to drop really low. So if you're choosing to add this kind of thing in a dangle, you will have a low earring, and that will be your choice. I'm going to show just a pendant that has a drop on it under our flower, and that's what I'm creating right now. And then the earrings will be really simple with something just basically like this, because I want, this is going to, for me, I'm small, I'm short, and I don't have a really long neck, so this would probably just be overwhelming if I had more of this on here. So let me get this part done. I've done just a simple little assembly like so, and then I'm going to do a simple wire wrap. So the wire wrap will be done by placing my round nose pliers and putting it about a 1/2 inch in, and giving myself about 3/16 right there, or 1/4. Holding this very, very firmly, and I'm going to take the tip, not here, but the tip, and I'm going to bring it around and wrap it around the base of that. Then we push it away, and I've got this nice little wire wrap, and I'm going to make sure I don't shoot an eye out with the tail. Cut the tail off. And there I have my little wire wrap, and I can do any kind of straightening up of that I need to do. So that's all I want, is just this really simple little wire wrap. And I'm going to take a jump ring and open the jump ring up. I'm going to add the wire wrap. I'm going to add the sequin, and if I want, I can layer on like so. This may be too overwhelming, and I already see that it is. I can do just that. I can choose what selection I want. Whoops. And decide what is too much and what is just right. And if I didn't keep dropping it, all would be good. There. Make sure that's nice and tight. And I think that's the look I like. It's just simple. Now for the earrings, I think I want those even more simple. But you could make a drop if you wanted. I've given you that, you know, it's your choice. You could add whatever you wanted to this. You don't even have to use the wire hoops that I've given you. But this is what's in your kit, and these are the choices that I'm making with it. Open that up. I drop that in. See how, I just want you to see, we're going to be putting this on here and this on here, how layered up that is already. And that has a really nice little contemporary look. And so do the next one. And putting on my sequin. And making sure that's nice and tight so it doesn't, I don't want this coming off. There. Now I've got my chain. Now, as I said, I want this all assembled when I glue it, because then I'm going to be giving it some time to dry. And it'll be ready to wear, but I'll set it aside. So we use the jump ring to bring this attachment into accordance, and it's kind of mimicking that look. So in the design sense, it's called repetition of design. Okay, so this is just a really simple little design. So I'm going to get ready to glue these things, and this is what it's going to be about. And the little gold flowers are being put here, and you're probably wondering, well, why didn't you sew those on there? Well, the reason these are here is they're buffers. If this is glued right into that, it rocks and you may see the glue. If I glue this in here and this in here, it won't rock, and the assembly stays even and the glue will be hidden. First one I'm going to glue is the pendant. I'm putting a nice dollop on my bead cap and a nice dollop on the back of my pansy. And I'm going to let that dry totally even. The one thing that I want to check out is to make sure that my petals are where I want them to be. Right there. And you can decide. I'm choosing to have them And we want that to dry evenly. So we get it in a position where it will dry very nicely. Making sure my surface is flat. And then I'm going to do these two, putting the earrings. A dollop on that, spread my daisy petals. A dollop on base of this. There. And so you're seeing the way things wiggle and stuff. We really do want to do the gluing last. And then and we will be letting these guys dry and get nice and cured. Our earrings and necklace are dry, and I'm pleased with how it looks. I give it about 20 minutes for the glue to cure before I pick it up, and about 24 hours before I wear it. So thanks for joining me.